In the modern era of warfare, we can see that drones have become ubiquitous. They can be seen everywhere. From Ukraine to Middle East, we have seen drones dominating the battlefields. But here's the biggest paradox. The more the usage of the drones, the tougher it actually becomes to win a war. Now you must be thinking, what kind of a logic is this? Of course, drones are quite useful in terms of reconnaissance, surveillance, even disruption and destruction. We have seen what kamikaze drones can do. But with more usage of the drones, it becomes a prolonged conflict. We are looking at longer wars and attritional warfare. And that is why I can say that drones are actually becoming the tools of stalemate. Let's try to understand how. We all understand that drones are becoming more dangerous. They can destroy and they can delay and they can even deny. But one needs to understand that drones cannot occupy territory. And in a war, territory is still everything, isn't it? If you want to hold on to land, you still need soldiers. You still need logistics. You still need engineers, infantry, supply lines, command posts, and control on the ground. Yes, a drone can strike a tank. It can strike a bunker. It can attack on the troops, but it cannot stand on the road and say that this territory is mine, this village is mine. That is why drone warfare is changing the character of the war. It is making battlefield movement more dangerous. It is making large offensives more expensive, and it is making armies think twice before advancing. So instead of a faster breakthrough, what we are looking at is more and more prolonged warfares. That is attritional kind of warfare, which we used to see in World War I through the trench warfare. So what exactly is happening? In the modern warfare, the battlefield is watched almost constantly from above using drones. Small drones can spot troop movement, artillery positions, supply trucks, and even soldiers. The FPV drones can strike with frightening accuracy. Reconnaissance drones can guide artillery within minutes, and loitering munitions can hover until they find a target. This means that once a force starts moving, it can be detected quite easily. And once it is detected, it can be hit more easily. So the attacker is now forced to move slower, use more concealment, or rather rely on more smaller groups to attack. This reduces the scale of offensive. So in simple terms, drones make it easier to deny territory rather than to take the territory. Drones are more effective from a defensive point of view rather than an offensive point of view. Let's take some examples to understand this better. The classic example being the current Russia-Ukraine war. In this war, drones have become one of the central tools of conflict. Both sides have used them quite effectively for surveillance, for artillery correction, for strike missions, and even direct attacks on enemy positions. This is one of the reasons that the war between Russia and Ukraine has become so attritional. It has been going on since 2022. The front lines are shifting very slowly. Gains are often measured in villages, in tree lines, or in few kilometers. And this is where the drone age has changed the logic of the war. If we look at the olden times, a large mechanized force could hope to break through and rapidly occupy terrain. But in the new age modern warfare, drones, mines, electronic warfare, and precision strikes, they combine to punish any sort of visible or predictable movement. That is why we see in last one and a half year, Russian troops using abandoned gas lines to move underground so that they can avoid detection by the drones of Ukrainians. As I mentioned you, there is another reason why drones favor stalemate rather than a victory. Drones strengthen defense more than offense. Why? Because defending is much easier than attacking. A defender can prepare positions, use camouflage, hide equipment, place mines, and wait for the enemy to reveal itself. A small drone team can monitor an area continuously and it can warn of any movement. This has become very important today. Drones, they do not help to win the war outrightly. What they do is they make the cost of advance by the opponent really costly, and that is how they create a deadlock or a stalemate. Another classic example is the US Israel versus the Iran conflict that also gives us the lesson that drones, or the extensive use of drones, it rather leads to stalemate. The war, which started in February 2026, it went on for almost more than a month, and recently a ceasefire has been called, but we did see a lot of deployment of drones from either side. And what the drone application did, it brought the Strait of Hormuz to a close, and ultimately the war boiled down to opening up of Strait of Hormuz. So what these drones did, the drones did not help in territorial control here. They created damage, they created fear, they created escalation, but they did not settle any sort of strategic question. And that is the key point in this particular discussion. Drones are very useful for punishment, disruption, and harassment. They are useful for forcing the enemy to spend money, move assets, and stay alert. But they do not solve the final problem of the war, which is ultimately about the territory and ultimately about the population. One needs to understand that to occupy territory or to take control of the land, we still need men. The most important strategic lesson in this discussion is a drone can strike a building, but it cannot search the building. A drone can destroy a truck, but it cannot secure the road. A drone can scare the civilians, but it cannot govern the city. And a drone can ultimately slow down the enemy, but it cannot replace the infantry. So when we say that the drones are tool of stalemate, we are really saying that they are excellent at making the war harder, but not at finishing them. That is why many armies are now facing a difficult reality. Firepower alone is no longer enough. Even precision firepower is not enough. And to convert battlefield success into real strategic success, we need people on the ground. And that is why the future of the warfare may not be drones alone, but it may shift to unmanned ground vehicles in future. If drones dominate the air, then the next step may be the robotic systems on the land. Unmanned ground vehicles can help in reconnaissance, logistics, mine clearing, casualty evacuation, and even direct combat support. They will face terrain problems, communication limits, and enemy fire, but they may help solve one weakness of the drones, that is, inability to physically occupy and control the space. It is said that already Ukraine has deployed more than 21,000 unmanned ground vehicles. So what is the final lesson out of this particular discussion? Drones have not made wars easier. On the face of it, it looks that drones are quite effective tools in the war. Yes, they are quite effective in terms of reconnaissance, surveillance, disruption, and destruction. But drones are also becoming tools of stalemate. So the future of warfare is not about how many drones you have or who has the largest number of drones. It's about who can convert this aerial advantage of drones into actual control on the ground.